Welcome to Community Corner. My name is David Taylor, and my two sidekicks are.
Okay, hello, welcome to Community Corner. My name is Allen County Castle.
Hello everyone, welcome to I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Today we greet Colleen Holmes, who is very active in the entire area of planning and supporting those with challenges. A while back, she coordinated a fundraising event that involves a fashion show and a DJ. Guys, I happened to be that DJ.
Really?
And it was a great event. Today, we will learn more about Colleen and her background and her activities. Welcome.
Thank you. And also,
Welcome.
I have Jocelyn, who's also a mom of a young gal who has Down syndrome.
Welcome as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Happy to
ladies.
be here.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome,
Thank you.
Barbara.
Thank you
Welcome,
for a nice
both of you.
introduction.
Thanks. Please tell us about your background and family.
Well, my family is myself and my husband Mark, and my daughter Elizabeth, who is 20 years old, and she has Down syndrome. How about you, Jocelyn?
My name is Jocelyn Cook, and my husband Chris and we have a daughter named Julia, and she is 7 years old in first grade, and she also has Down syndrome.
So we are all in with the Down syndrome world, and we love living and breathing all things Down syndrome. And that's when I met you, actually,
Right.
because we kind of learned about you playing the DJ at certain events. But as a family
Yeah, we
member,
call that.
remember?
Yes.
You know, so we love to support and be a strong advocate for persons who have Down syndrome. That's kind of what our world is about. We of course have jobs, we have to earn a living, and we hope that Elizabeth also earns a living like you.
What are your hobbies and interests?
My hobbies, I love to fish. And in the summertime, that is what I would rather do more of than anything else, is I'd like to go fishing.
Fishing.
Yes.
Fishing?
Yep, fishing. I like to ice fish too. And if I could get someone to go with me, it'd be more fun because
Ice
it's kind
fishing.
of yeah, ice
Help
fishing.
me out.
That's boring.
Oh, please.
You would freeze,
cold.
but there's just that little hole,
Right.
and then you put a line in there, and then all of a sudden a fish comes out. It's
No,
the
no.
darndest thing.
Yeah.
Mine's the
Yeah.
movie. Mine's that film. Grumpy Old Men.
Oh, yeah.
Walter Matthau.
Yes, I like fishing. How about you?
Well, I don't think my hobbies are as exciting as that or unique. I love British television, which it makes me maybe a little bit of a geek.
Ah,
I love to
British
read.
television?
British television is one of my go-to things. Yeah.
Is everybody called Top Gear?
No, I have not heard of Top Gear.
Can I question?
Yes. Ladies, did you pursue education, higher education, and if so, in what area?
yes, I went to Michigan State University.
Green.
Go Green.
Go
I'm a
Green.
packaging engineer.
Wow.
So I enjoy, I enjoyed my college years. I love my career. Right now, I'm in property management with Continental Management, which is kind of a departure, but it's all working with people and, making things happen. And, I really, really enjoyed my packaging engineering field. But now I'm working with seniors, and my dad lives at my property, and it's a great, great life right now.
Well, that's excellent, Colleen.
Thank you. Thank you.
What type of jobs have you both had over the years?
What kind of jobs have
Yeah.
we had
Over
over the years?
I've had a variety of jobs, and I'm actually in job transition. I have a degree in journalism, public relations from Ohio University, and I have done things from sales to marketing. I did a little stint as an interior designer. I also have a degree in interior design. and I was the office manager at my church in Ohio for a while. So I've had a varied background, but mostly I've done marketing. So
Yeah, sales and marketing, that's why we hook up. You know, sales is a great foundation for all kinds of jobs in your life. And most of mine have been sales and marketing as well. But now I'm in property management,
Oh,
which is
wonderful.
kind of same.
What is the name of the organization you're telling us about?
Oh, well, this is really exciting.
Okay.
The organization's name is Gigi's Playhouse. The website is gigisplayhouse.org/Detroit.
Okay.
And across the country, there are Gigi Playhouses that are around lots of cities. I think we have 35, 31 Gigi's Playhouses. And Detroit and Michigan just doesn't have a Gigi's Playhouse yet.
Really?
So we have a team of horses, meaning a lot of people around the table
Okay.
that are wanting to bring Gigi's Playhouses to Detroit. And there are 3 components of a Gigi's Playhouse.
Okay.
There's the Playhouse, which serves therapies and play groups and learning, reading, learning, tutoring for all ages, by the way. Then there's the Hugs and Mugs, the coffee shop. The Gigi's Hugs and Mugs
Hugs and mugs?
coffee shop. And it's
Nice.
wonderful. And people who have Down syndrome are employed
Oh.
and bring their creative juices to build that coffee shop.
Oh.
The third component, you're going to be excited,
What?
Gigi's University, where those persons with Down syndrome, certainly after age 26 and onward, need a place to continue their learning.
You have
Can you imagine sitting in a classroom and getting a 2-year degree from Gigi's University?
Yeah.
And we bring talents to the table. It's all these 3 components of Gigi's Playhouse. It's free to families.
Okay.
So Jocelyn and I, her daughter is 7, mine's 20. We're looking at this as one of the greatest opportunities that our family has.
Okay.
Because we can have Elizabeth be employed. We can give our talents in volunteerism coming to the table.
Yeah.
Lots of families coming and bringing their experiences as a resource to support it. And then we have the schooling, which always is wonderful.
For you, Aaron.
Yeah.
That high school to your family.
Exactly. So,
Oh, I'm waiting.
so what kind of stuff do you teach?
Dress for success, how
Yeah.
to get a job,
Oh.
what is personal hygiene and how important that is.
Oh, there's something everyone needs to learn.
You know, here is, we've got all kinds of program guides.
Good.
So I've got in my briefcase about 7 of them over there.
7?
And so there's all kinds of programming and how to eat well,
Okay.
how to
That's-
participate.
That's eat well is most
Eat well
important.
is wonderful. How to, you know, and lots of programming on what you guys like. What about sales? What
Yeah.
about working in an office?
Oh.
What about exercise and learning what's good for your
Catering.
body?
How about sardines?
cooking is one of them too. Yeah.
Cooking.
Sardines. I think that's a
love
great
that.
idea.
Computers?
Computers.
Nice.
Anything that makes us feel confident in what we do. Dressing for success is one of the biggest ones. Anything that is of interest for a person who has Down syndrome
Really?
to continue the wellness. You know, what if someone wanted to get into politics
Or in catering.
in catering? What if someone wanted to become a teacher's aide or even a teacher? What does that look like?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, we bring the experts
Maybe
to
I'll be a
Gigi's.
news reporter one day.
It's
That's
all
right.
possible.
You're already doing it.
Yeah,
I am.
you are. You've got a great start.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we bring Gigi's Playhouse and Gigi's University brings these experts to the table to help support the network of people
That's
who have
a
Down
wonderful
syndrome.
idea.
How about that?
That's a great idea.
That's nice.
Do you have a
Isn't it?
title?
Yes, it is.
So what is your title as roles as people working with kids with Down syndrome?
Well, I'm a mom
Yeah, our first title is mom, and then we are steering committee board members for Gigi's Playhouse. So we are the ones that are the grassroots efforts of parents who have come together to form the board to raise the funds, identify volunteers, promote out in the community so people will become aware of Gigi's Playhouse and the programs that it will offer when we open. We are still looking for a site location. That's a big component of the board, is identifying a place to open the Gigi's Playhouse. So, yeah, those are our main job titles and some of the responsibilities that we
It's
have.
important. I think it's a wonderful job.
It sounds like it's so much fun. How do you keep the meetings, and how do you plan your future events?
Good question. How do you plan these events? We know that the funds that it's going to take to open up Gigi's is important. We think that we have a variety of events that we're planning. We have had a fashion show. We have had just recently a dance for Down syndrome. And do you know that 600 people came to this dance?
600
600
people
just
came?
on
And
Sunday.
we just
Yeah.
this
Wow.
past Sunday, and we raised over $50,000.
Wow,
Cool.
$50,000.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
double
That's
the goal
that's
that we
That's
set.
a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We kind of goaled it out at 25.
Okay.
But then see the outpouring of the community is what's so motivating to us. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to have a fashion show annually. We have a couple more events planned for next year. But we know in order to provide a wonderful place for people who have Down syndrome to come, called Gigi's Playhouse, we know that it will take funds. So we have a committee that sits at the table and comes up with these ideas, and we reach out to our community, and they all want to provide their resources and their volunteerism to make this happen.
Like, how do you determine a budget for an event?
Very good question.
That is a good question. We try to keep the budget or the expenses as low as possible so that we can take in the most amount of money possible to help fund the opening of the Gigi's. So we identify a location that is either donated or has a very low cost. We figure in, some expenses for decorations, food, things like that. And as much as possible, we try to get a lot of that donated so that it does keep the expenses as low as possible. So that's really how we try to determine that. And we have some amazing, talented people on our committee who have experience in event planning. And they are amazing at figuring out the budgets and the cost to have a stage or lighting or sound or the food, and then we go from there and look to see if we can get any of that donated from businesses who want to support our efforts.
We understand that there's a place called Gigi's Playhouse. Tell us a bit about this wonderful playhouse.
Well, how did Gigi's kind of come about? Let's talk about that.
Sure.
Nancy Gianni is the founder.
Nancy Gianni.
She lives in Chicago,
Okay.
and she has a daughter named Gigi, who is 16 now.
What? 16?
And the playhouses were really her brainchild. So out of her efforts and the people that she surrounded herself with, now there are 31 Gigi
Might be
Playhouse
34,
locations.
actually. I think it's up to 34.
Is it by
Yeah.
34 now?
Yeah.
But you know what's so great is that every month there are 240 families that learn about Gigi's and get plugged in.
Really?
So this is taking the country as well as internationally to Mexico by storm. And it's a
Wow.
wonderful idea because as a family member, as a parent, I'm looking for the support to guide my daughter so that she can grow and turn into wonderful people like you guys. And she's younger than you. So we need to keep this going, and we need to support you guys as well on into your years.
Part of the messaging of Gigi's, the tagline underneath the logo says Down Syndrome Achievement Center.
Yes.
And that's very purposeful to use those words to help educate the community and our culture of the amazing things that people with Down syndrome can accomplish. So if we provide them with supports and therapies and tutoring and training, there's amazing things that people with Down syndrome can do, as you are exemplifying. And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
it's a positive message that Gigi's Playhouse sends out in every community that they are located.
Cool.
My question. Would please describe how you heard of Gigi's Playhouse?
I think I heard about Gigi's Playhouse about 15 years ago when I lived in Chicago. And when we moved to Michigan, I also heard about it also.
So when it first started, basically.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
And I went there. I mean, it was just like an amazing location. But the concept is so different because it provides services free to the family.
Right.
So as we kind of come and go, we don't really realize how important that is. And now it is taking everyone by storm. And Nancy Gianni and the Gigi's received the CNN Hero Award.
CNN?
Yes,
CNN
from
Hero
CNN.
Award. So the
Nice.
business model that Gigi's Playhouse follows is exemplary. It is really, really solid. That's why we're putting all of our efforts and our, time and energy to bring one to Detroit.
I think it's a wonderful, great idea.
I first learned about Gigi's Playhouse, I believe it was through Facebook. So the power of social media. Someone sharing about a Gigi's Playhouse, and because my daughter, she's now 7, it was probably when she was a baby or very young, so at least 6 years ago, I first heard of a Gigi's Playhouse, and I wanted to know more, and we ended up having a great community of people here in Detroit come around, to gather together to help open one.
That's a wonderful idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Would you please describe the purpose?
The purpose is to bring to Detroit a place where people who have Down syndrome can learn and achieve their dreams.
That sounds really nice.
So, how is it funded?
We put events on.
100% donation.
100%
So
donation
through
to
individuals, through corporations. A lot of companies like to give back to the community and to worthwhile charities and organizations, and so it's a mix, I think, of personal donations, companies donating, and it's 100% all across the country. That's how it's funded.
I think this is a wonderful idea. You two ladies are doing a beautiful, great job.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have several other people that are on the Gigi steering committee that are committed as well.
That made me to my question.
Yes, sir.
Who is on the staff?
Who's on the staff? We don't have a staff yet. There's usually one person who is a paid part-time employee to be the point person at a Gigi's Playhouse to help with scheduling, answering the phones, making sure everything looks great in the playhouse, making sure that every answer from a family is being considered and responded to. But majority is volunteer, because we would hope that perhaps one of you guys, if not all three of you, would come and maybe donate your time to be a mentor to a younger person who has Down syndrome. To bring your skills that you're doing here is really, really wonderful.
Are you just inviting us?
I am inviting you and you and you to be a part of Gigi's going
Gentlemen,
forward.
this is we accept
That's cool.
your invitation.
Yeah, I think we should.
I think it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. We're looking for advocates. We have to continue to speak out, don't we?
You do.
And represent ourselves and show the world that we people who have Down syndrome have a lot to offer.
What is involved in bringing this to Detroit?
Oh, it's a lot of hours of work of the steering committee, planning these events, promoting these events to our own personal networks, our family and friends, but then also media outreach. We're very grateful for one of our media champions, Anne-Marie LaFlame on Channel 7. She's helped to bring news coverage for Gigi's Playhouse Detroit.
Yes.
And radio cover, we've received radio coverage. So all of those things help get the message out. And then we've had these events to raise the funds to open the Gigi's, which is basically the rent for the building, any construction that has to happen with the building, all of those things that will go into furnishing it. We need all that money up front before we can actually open.
So,
Okay.
where will it be located?
It's important to, consider the area of where a Gigi's would be located. And we want it to be in a place that's affordable and sustainable. So we're currently looking for a place that would give us $1 per square foot, very achievable dollar, okay? So you could go, and we have to shop. So right now we're shopping for a location. And so we have a realtor, we have people that know a lot about this type of securing a property. And so when we go to rent this, we're going to end up building out. So when you walk into a Gigi's Playhouse, you're going to see a stage where everyone can enjoy. Maybe one of these days, DJ Dave will be on that stage with his buddies. We're going to have an office setting where you've got tutoring rooms. So I'm going to have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 tutoring rooms where we can go in and maybe work on our
Reading,
areas, our reading, our speech, our math, anything that you guys,
History.
yep, learning and being tutored. We all need tutoring and continue to learn. A part of the Gigi's Playhouse is a kitchen. And you talked about catering.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have catering classes. We're going to be, doing a lot of that. And then the Hugs and Mugs is a separate area and such. So this kind of space is what we need to intentionally go forward so that we can have the best cost per square foot. So our area manager's name is Lisa Kokab.
Okay.
And she's working with a lot of folks to help this happen. So that's how you go about finding a Gigi's Playhouse.
The other component that's critical for identifying the location for a Gigi's Playhouse is not only cost, but it needs to be on a main line, a main road where there's a bus line, so that adults with Down syndrome, if they're not driving and they want to take the bus, they can get there independently. And then we also want it very visible to the public, like on a street where people are going to see Gigi's Playhouse, Down Syndrome Achievement Center. They'll see photos of people with Down syndrome in the windows, and it sends a positive message into the community. So that's another component of identifying the location. And then we're looking to be as centrally located as possible because the Detroit metro area is so large. And so there's families living really spread out. And so we need to try to get it as centrally located as possible.
And easy to get to.
And easy to get to, off a highway, on a main road. And so that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Who can join this effort, and what will they be doing?
Great question.
You can join the effort just by raising your hand and saying, I want to be a part of it. I want to volunteer. How can I help? If it's not through our physical resources, as in a donation, a monetary donation,
Volunteering,
it's
the opportunity.
participating at the table, planning the events. Being a self-advocate at the table is really important to us. We want that to happen of all ages. We would love to see corporations and businesses come alongside Gigi's because we need to have that budget be sustained. But most of all, we want the community to understand that people who have Down syndrome have dreams, they can achieve, and they can do absolutely anything that they put their mind to.
My friend Aaron Kowalski.
True.
My friend Aaron Kowalski has Down syndrome. He does.
Awesome.
Yeah, my friend Aaron and who else has Down? I think both is Down. I can't remember. I can never remember.
Yeah.
Where are the funds coming from for this?
A variety. It comes from households, families,
Individuals.
It comes from companies. We're hoping for partners to come alongside of us to support it going forward. It comes from piggy banks, from young kids, opening up their piggy banks and dumping out the piggies and saying, "Hey, I want to support Gigi's Playhouse too."
Piggies.
Okay.
So we are looking for a lot of support going forward, and so far the community has wrapped their arms around us, and we are going forward to several events coming up.
Now, is this supported by an agency? If not, by whom?
So Gigi's corporate in Chicago. Supports the efforts of all of the locations. So they help us with the website, with the programming resources, with marketing material like brochures, the programs that we will implement. And so the corporation itself that's located in Chicago is really the main.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a Gigi's Playhouse that has the corporate
What?
staff right there.
All the requirements for those attending.
No requirements, really. I mean, we also serve people who have disabilities. It's not just exclusive to Down syndrome, but the expertise is Down syndrome.
Right. But we
So-
wouldn't turn anyone away
No.
that comes in looking for help or resources.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, is this a place where people visit, or do they stay and participate?
It's a place for people to come and visit. It's a place for people to join a program. Maybe that program is an hour long. Maybe there's a function that might be a couple hours long. So you could come to the Gigi's Playhouse and hang out and be a part of a social group. So those types of programs will be communicated. Maybe it's an evening, maybe it's a Saturday afternoon, maybe it's sometime that's convenient for anyone who's attending.
Okay.
So we have to build those programs. We have examples of other Gigi's Playhouses of how they do it. So we'll gain counsel and understand how we kind of work this going forward.
Okay.
Shall I close then? It has been really good. Great having you here today, our guests today. Gigi's Playhouse really sounds neat.
Great.
All the wonderful folks and dreams and fun activities, creations for those with special needs, and is a vital to society and respect of all people. The challenges ourselves. Appreciate it to those who support us, dreams, and let us work to make our dreams reality. It is important. We have this wonderful agency, so please visit this place. Your kids will learn a lot. I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray. My two friends are.
I'm Gary Taylor. I was in Community Corner, ONTV, YouTube.com.
My name is Sam Castle. You've been watching on TV, Community Corner, and YouTube.
So next time on Community Corner. Bye now.
Bye.